Alright, so I figured I'd do a review of the Aomais Ball Bluetooth speaker. Now I can give you a sense of what I think of it and if it's worth your money or not. So on the front, you do have like, it looks like a wire mesh finish, but it's actually kind of plasticky. You can see kind of through it a little bit, but it's a little hard to see. But the speaker is underneath here. It's a big speaker, 15-watt speaker. Up here you have this kind of fibered loop for a carabiner. It's actually very nice. And then on the back right here, you see USB and aux. That's where your USB port goes in to charge it. And you also have an aux cable to input another source like a phone or an MP3 player. Up top here is the power button. That's how you turn it on. So I'm going to go ahead and turn it on now.
Powering on.
And you hear it say powering on. Up here is the plus and minus.
To pair.
Thank you, Mr. Ball Speaker. So you have a plus and minus button. That's to turn the volume up and down. And then you also have a stand underneath right here. It's a little hard to get open, but with a little bit of effort and possibly a tool like a knife, let's say, just stick something underneath there because I don't really have any nails. You can pop it open, and it doesn't really open that much, but the whole point is just so it stands up like that and you're good to go, holding it on any desk or any ground, any flat level surface to hold it up, kind of prop it up against. So it's pretty cool right there. And the back right here is like kind of like a matte rubber finish. It does pick up the oils from your fingerprints, but it doesn't really pick up the fingerprints. So I'm going to go ahead and sync it up to my Kindle Fire, and we'll listen to some non-copyright music. That way you can get a sense of how it sounds. And then also I do want to mention this is the box that comes with it. Opening up the box, you're going to see the speaker right here sitting in kind of this plastic outer sleeve. But here in a little baggie, you do get an auxiliary to auxiliary 3.5 millimeter cable. You also get a small orange carabiner. I don't know if the color changes depending on the color of the speaker you bought, but this one came with an orange one. And then also here you get a USB cable, and it is micro USB, same one as a lot of other phones. So hopefully that you probably have a lot of these cables sitting around. And then also kind of a cool thing I saw underneath here, it comes with like the small little pool floaty that says it has Aomais branding on the back. Sorry, it's a little washed out, but you do get this Aomais branding right here on this little pool floaty, so you can take it in the pool with you, which I think is pretty cool. Alright, so I've paired the speaker to my Kindle Fire HD tablet. I know you're seeing a lot of fingerprints there, but I'm going to go ahead and play some non-copyright rock music through it. This is at about max volume on the speaker, 25% volume on my Kindle Fire, and you'll see how it sounds. Okay, so I don't know if it's coming in that clear, but I noticed a 25% volume and on the whatever device you're using, and about max volume on the speaker. The bass actually comes through pretty clearly, and you do get a little bit of a high end, but you don't really have that strong mid-tones. Like, it's not a completely balanced sound, so I figured that was important to know. Now I'm going to raise it to 50% volume, and that'll give you a kind of a clear representation of how the speaker sounds, because it's going to be quite a bit louder. Okay, so at 50% volume, I noticed the bass is kind of the same. Bass is coming through really strong, really thumping. I really like that. And the highs are pretty clear. And now at 50% volume, the midtones start to come out more. And I'm going to raise it to 75% volume. And this is where it starts to lose a little bit of its clarity. But it becomes really loud. Alright, so at 75% volume, the bass is really thumping now. The high end is actually really good, but it's starting to kind of pierce your ears a bit. And the midtones are still coming out clear. At 100% volume, this thing is just outright loud. So I'm going to turn it up all the way. You might want to turn the volume down. You have been warned. Turn the volume down because it's going to be very, very loud. Alright, so at 100% volume, the bass is really thumping now, and the high end is coming out a little piercy. It's starting to hurt my ears a bit at 100% volume, and you're starting to get muddied midtones. But for a speaker that says can be used outdoors and is waterproof, it's kind of pretty good that you can have it this loud outdoors and still it'll probably come out a little bit clearer outdoors. Alright, so I have a Rubbermaid Tupperware here container. It's a little old, but doesn't matter for the purposes of this experiment. But the speaker does say it's waterproof, and I know I have to test it out. So I did put it in there. I'm going to pour water on it slowly. It can't be completely submerged in there, but you are able to put water on it. Now, first thing I do want to mention is with this, you have to make sure this little rubber port on the back is completely sealed. And I believe you can do it with the stand open, but for the purposes of this test, I'm going to close the stand over here on the back. So I'm going to lay it in there. I can see the speaker right there in the middle, so I'm just going to pour it right on there. And we'll see if this works. Now, if it doesn't work, you definitely know I will talk about it. So I'm going to go ahead and play some music, and we'll see how it works. So as you can see, it's kind of spitting the water out there. That speaker in this is very powerful. But it is completely waterproof, and it is still working. You can still see it kind of spitting out some of the water there. Yeah, but as you can see, the speaker is completely waterproof. That's a big selling point of this. And it's definitely a reason why I think people should consider the speaker. Alright, so my final thoughts on the speaker. It's actually a pretty great speaker. The fact that it's waterproof is a major plus. It actually works out really well with the waterproofing. It is very loud. The bass is actually thumping, which I'm starting to like a more thumping bass now. The highs are still clear. It doesn't really have that strong of a mid-tone, but it is something I am willing to deal with this speaker because it just gets darn loud outside. But one of the cons, again, is the fact that it doesn't have the mid-tones, but I'm willing to deal with that with the speaker. Is it worth it? It definitely is worth it. I believe it's going for $29.99 right now on Amazon. If it's a little bit more expensive, I still think it's worth getting, so I'd recommend buying this speaker.